This screencast was created for Bloomington Public Schools employees to review the Bloomington Public Schools regulations and policies. Where might you find Bloomington's policies? Click on the Bloomington webpage, homepage, and type in policies. If you see at the top, it says School Board Policy Regulations. Click on that link and scroll down, and they're listed in chronological order. Bloomington policies under personnel, and it's the 400 range. Harassment and violence. Mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse. Chemical use and abuse. Drug-free workplace, drug-free school. And tobacco-free schools. Bloomington policies regarding students in the 500s. Weapons. Student discipline. Bullying prevention, students' sex non-discrimination, technology guidelines, staff notification of violent behavior by students, and hazing prohibition. And under 700, Bloomington policies for non-instructional operations, transportation. Harassment and violence. This is in regard to student, staff to student, and staff to staff. Involves hurting others, the district will investigate any issues brought to them. Mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse. It's the law. If staff fail to report, they may be subject to criminal penalties or termination of employment. Please report as soon as possible, but in no event longer than 24 hours, and must report if occurred within the preceding 3 years. If you're unsure what to do, please contact your building administrator and they will provide guidance. Chemical use and abuse. Schools instruct students about dangers. Staff must report student use. Human Resources will investigate any staff usage. Drug-free workplace, drug-free school. Prohibited use before, during, and after school by students and staff. Permission is granted for a controlled substance, an example being if a student or staff uses Ritalin for ADHD. Rule of thumb, drugs, if their usage interferes with any learning, that's when we have to take a look and investigate. Tobacco-free schools. No smoking or chewing on school premises. If you do, subject to discipline. Weapons. No weapons on school grounds. Student suspension or expulsion will take place. Staff employment could be terminated. Any usage is subject to discipline or criminal charges. Follow school rules. Subject to school consequences, our main goal is to maintain a safe and orderly environment so that students can learn. Bullying prevention. Bullying is verbal, physical, or a written act. It's threatening. It's often repeated. Please report to administration immediately so that the administration can begin investigation. Student sex non-discrimination. We are an equal education opportunity district. Staff must report to administration if this is not taking place. Technology guidelines. It's used for education purposes. Any electronic use is a public record. Inappropriate use by students may be subject to suspension or expulsion. Inappropriate use by staff may be subject to discipline and/or termination. Staff notification of violent behavior by students. Staff have a right to know about students with history of violent behavior. Only staff who work with students or have a legitimate educational interest. This is put in place for staff so that they are prepared if they're working with a student who has a history of violence. Hazing prohibition. Act of coercing student or staff into doing something for initiation into a club or organization. Staff must report immediately to administration. This applies on and off school property. And finally, transportation. Bus ridership is a privilege. Bus rules must be followed. Rules are the same on the bus stop as the bus. And rules were gone over in class or in schools, and rules are sent home to families. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your school administrator for any guidance. Good luck and have a great school year.